Good morning and welcome to Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening Sunday morning service. Whoever you are and wherever you're from, we're glad you're here. I'm going to start with a little sing-along to remind myself and all of us that we're here to be loved, we're here to shine, and to help others do the same. Sing along with me. I am love and light. I am free to fly. I am love and light. I am free, free to fly, free to fly. I am a heart in action. I am love's compassion. I am a heart in action. I'm love. Claim it with me now. I am love and light. I am shining bright. I am the love I want to see. I claim it with me now. I am love and light. I am free to fly. I am the light I want to see. I claim it. I am love and light. I am shining brightly. I am love and light. I am free, free to fly, free to fly, free to fly. So, as I said, whoever you are, wherever you're from, we mean that. We not only welcome you, we want to know you. So reach out to us and learn how you can be more involved. Or stay tuned. In just a moment, we'll have a slide of announcements all about a holiday party, a marketplace, and other opportunities. An in-person service coming up again soon. So stay tuned for those announcements. You are welcome here. Just the way you are, you are wanted here. So open up your heart. Lay all your fears and all your doubts aside. Let go of all the hurt you hold inside. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Can you feel the love of all who've gathered round? You are worthy of this gift of love right now. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Sharp, and I am a founding member of CCSA. And the title of one of the readings today, or writings, is The Art of Forgiveness by Sally Clindus, and some of the writings are my own. I am a licensed Gestalt therapist and a former social worker who worked with women who had been abused in childhood and onward. Clindus writes, "It is remarkable to know how many times in his healing ministry Jesus uses the word forgive. Holmes says we are told that God will forgive us after we have forgiven others. This is a direct statement and one we should ponder deeply. Can God forgive until we have forgiven? If God can work for us only, but working through us, then this statement of Jesus stands true and is really a state of law of cause and effect." Clindus continues, "A certain woman was on the path of spiritual awareness. For a time, she did well in demonstrating health, harmony, and happiness. Then she ran into a lady she had known long ago. Their past association had been unpleasant, and she had no desire to see this person again. However, they were repeatedly thrown together. She realized there was a reason for this. One day she received her answer. She had never forgiven this woman for an act of disloyalty, and this was a stumbling block to her spiritual progress. She changed her daily prayers and blessed this woman. She blessed the incident. She consciously released the past incident as having no power over her life. She saw her attitudes had hurt her, not the actions of the other woman. It's as important to forgive yourself as it is to forgive others, especially because unless you're forgiven, you can't forgive others. One of the easiest ways is to affirm your own perfection." Now, this is from my spirit, my ongoing journey. There are many traditional spiritual holidays at this time of the year, particularly Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I'm most familiar with. Statistically, they appear to bring up myriad emotions that are painfully negative from childhood and beyond, and that erupt in violence every year, even suicide, in the midst of what is supposed to be the most happy, wonderful time of the year. People who don't know better tell the adult survivors, "Let it go, forget about it," as if. The memories are highly charged. They don't just go away, but the charges can be lessened greatly, even nullified. That's where forgiveness steps in. And forgiveness starts with self-love. So this year, start with you. Start with loving you. So it is. And our affirmation for today is, having been created by Source in its image and likeness, I claim my perfection as I love and forgive myself first, so that I may be forgiven by Source and go on to forgive others. And that was written by me. Namaste. I love you.
Thank you, Kathleen, for this morning's reading. I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. I had one more reading that I wanted to share with you this morning. As most of you know, we started on the 22nd. We started a 40-day Mind Fast Soul Feast, reading along together this book by Michael Bernard Beckwith, 40-day Mind Fast Soul Feast. So it's not too late to pick up a copy and join us. But I was really inspired by one during the week, this past week, on day 9. And on day 9, it was all about claiming your divine dominion. In the book, The Agony and the Ecstasy, Michelangelo was contemplating David's nature. I imagine that his thoughts might have gone along these lines. What was the most important moment in David's life? Was it his slingshot practice? Was it the moment he slew Goliath? No. Michelangelo realized the pivotal moment in David's life was when he knew in his mind and in his heart that he could slay Goliath. It was the moment in his heart when the decision was made, when David turned to the inner authority principle within his own mind. That moment changed the course of his destiny. You're here to wake up to the infinite possibilities of life. Life has already given you all that you need in your identity as a spiritual being. By waking up to the real, capital R, by waking up to the real and seeing yourself as you truly are, you will be in league with the infinite possibilities mindset. Then, when Goliath-sized challenges of life present themselves, you will know that there is nothing on the outside that is greater than who and what you are on the inside. Remember, David only had a slingshot and 3 rocks. Today, claim your inner dominion as an act of worship. You can accomplish this by first moving into a dynamic, prayerful tryst with the Spirit. Secondly, practice constant gratitude for the blessings in your life. And thirdly, be a willing instrument of selfless service to the one in all. And the affirmation is, I turn with authority to my own mind and declare that all of God is with me and all of God is for me. All of God is with me and all of God is for me. And I'm going to be talking about that in just a moment when we delve into what it means to live in divine dominion. But first, let's just take a moment of prayerful, mindful, musical meditation. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. So I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment I feel love. I am love. So I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love. I am love. There is peace. I am peace. Peace. I rest in the peace of this moment as I recognize the one moving through all of its creation, moving through me now. With every breath, I bring my mindful attention to this truth that I am never separate from my source, that we are all connected through this web of life, divine intelligence, divine love, continually holding us, guiding us, leading us in all ways. And so I take a moment to tune in, to tap in to that inner guidance system. I take a moment to choose peace this morning as I enjoy this breath, as I enjoy this day. And so I say thank you, God, for the many, many blessings that I have to be grateful for. I know this service is divinely guided and divinely blessed, and we just open and allow it to be so. Thank you, God. And so it is. So as you could just see, we have lots of upcoming events, wonderful opportunities to come together in person. So please join us for the holiday party, for the marketplace at Eastside Local, for our next in-person service. And for those of you who are online joining us every week from other cities, other states, other countries, we want to always keep in mind how we can engage with you. So we have some things in store for you at the beginning of the year, ways we can stay in touch and stay in community together. So stay tuned for that. Also, though, one thing that we can all do right now to be in community together is to join me in this read-along that I'm doing of Dr. Michael Beckwith's book, The 40-Day Mind Fast Soul Feast, that I referenced already. And this is a wonderful daily reader. And I felt, we're 14 days in, by the way, it's a 40-day journey, and we're 14 days in, and I felt it was such a great and powerful way to end our year. And then we're going to jump into another read along at the first of the year with Mark Nepo's book, The Book of Awakening. So this is just another fun way that we can stay in community together and continue to apply the teaching together and learn and to grow. So, as I mentioned, I was inspired specifically this week by the reading from day 9 about divine dominion. How when, the moment when David realized he could slay Goliath, that was the turning point. Not all the hours of practice, not all the prepping that he was doing to take on this giant. No, it was the moment that he realized that he could do it, that everything changed for him. I can still remember me as a 14-year-old basketball player. I can still remember where I'm standing in the hallway of the house I grew up in as my older brother pulls me aside after the first or second game of my freshman year, and he said to me, "You can play college ball. You can even get a scholarship and have them pay you to play college ball if you own this, if you really apply yourself to this. You can do this." That was the moment for me that everything changed, and I stopped doing basketball just as, a fun thing that I was doing, and it became like everything that I did. It became my life. I threw all my whole self into it. So our divine dominion, really being in dominion, our divine dominion as we move through life means it's that moment when we realize we are co-creating our experience, right? And so if you think about the word dominion, I know probably the passage from Genesis comes to mind where God says, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, over the cattle, over all the wild animals of the earth, over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." I think a lot of people hear that verse and think, "Ha, I am human. I will dominate everything." Unfortunately, I think that's the way people look at that verse instead of really understanding that the word dominion is to be a good steward. Right? We were gifted this life, this body temple, our brothers and sisters of 2 legs and 4 legs, our planet. We were gifted this to be a good steward of it, to manage our resources, to be good caretakers of it. Well, the same is true with our divine dominion. We have been gifted with the power to create a life of beauty and joy and purpose. And we get the opportunity to be good stewards or not. So here we are in the season of Advent, which comes from the Latin word adventus, means coming. And it's all about the preparation in the Christian tradition. It's all about the preparation for the celebration of Jesus Christ's birthday, the birth of Christ. And so for us, metaphysically, it's still very important as well here in New Thought, because we talk about Christ consciousness, living from that Christ consciousness. Another way of saying the divine dominion. Living from that Christ consciousness means owning the power that we've been gifted, owning the responsibility that we've been gifted. And so, as you know, Jesus was not his name. His name was Yeshua. Jesus meant to save, and he has been saving people since he walked the earth. If you look at the way that he taught people to live, it's saving people from a different way of being. And Christ was not his last name. That was a term. That was a title meant to be the anointed one. And back in those days, to be anointed meant you've been called by God for a specific purpose, and you're agreeing to this responsibility, this deep connection with God to live this purpose. Well, we've all been given a divine purpose. We've all been anointed with this gift of choosing to be in co-creation consciously, to be living from that Christ consciousness that recognizes that I'm here to be a good steward of my energy, of my life, of my community, of this planet. And so I love the season of Advent because it's all about faith and hope. And specifically today on the second Sunday, if you're following the Unity Advent calendar, today is peace. It's all about peace. And the affirmation is, I can always choose peace. I can always choose peace. We can always choose peace, and we can always choose to live from divine dominion, and Christ consciousness, whichever you want to say. We can always choose peace and choose to live from that place when we free ourselves from distractions and we turn to peace. We turn to connection with the divine. So I got a question for you. Which one are you, Martha or Mary? Are you being Martha or Mary in your life? So just to remind you of the story, Jesus goes to see his friends Martha and Mary, Lazarus' sisters. And here he is spilling out his wisdom. And Martha is scurrying. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's serving, she's doing all the things. She's scurrying. Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet, completely attuned, not distracted by the doingness like her sister Martha, but being fully present and cultivating this connection with this master teacher, really soaking it up. I know when my teachers are around, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to listen. I just want to soak up that transmission. So that's what she was doing. And Martha says, are you not going to say anything to her, Jesus? I mean, I'm over here working. I'm feeding everybody. I'm cleaning. And she's just sitting there. Aren't you going to say something to her? And Jesus said, Mary's chosen what's better, and it will not be taken away from her. Mary's chosen what's better, and it will not be taken away from her, because it's the inner connection, the inner communion with the divine, not the busyness. Thought that was a good thing for us to think about right now, because December seems to fly by if you're not careful, and you get wrapped up in too much busy, and you forget to just be fully present in the love. Too busy running around getting presents to show your love to someone instead of just being that love. It's provocative. We got to watch ourselves. So let's choose to be Mary and not Martha in this scenario. Let's choose to be Mary and not Martha, and cultivate that connection with the divine, choosing peace, choosing to live from that Christ consciousness that knows that there's a power for good. There's a universal law that governs all things, and my thoughts, my feelings, my words, and my actions affect that law. It feeds into that law, and my life shows up as the result. So I choose peace, and I can always choose peace. Every time I think about scurry, busyness, doingness, as opposed to just choosing peace, I can't help but think of my friend Brian. Rest your soul, my friend, who the same Christmas I bought him the Italian leather-bound day timer to keep track of all of his appointments and doing this. He got me the book, The Art of Doing Nothing. Spoke volumes for our friendship and our relationship, but he was such a good influence on me because he taught me how to just sit in a hammock. He taught me how to just sit, just to be, how to just climb a trail, or just to sit on the couch and be fully present with your friend. He taught me that. So let's choose Martha's example, Brian's example, this holiday season and always, as we choose peace, knowing it's always a choice. So to live from this peace, to live from the divine dominion, the Christ consciousness, we must free ourselves from distractions, like sweet little Martha being distracted, and cultivate the connection instead. So we cultivate the connection through prayer and meditation, of course. We also cultivate it through constant gratitude instead of complaining and looking for what's not right and looking for ways people don't love you or you can't trust them. Another way that we cultivate that connection is being willing to be led. We don't always know how, and we don't have to know how to accomplish the things that we feel led to do in our lives, but just be willing. That cultivates the connection, just being willing. It's the crack in the door that Spirit needs to move through us fully. Be willing to be moved, be willing to be in selfless, loving service to God, expressing through all of creation, which is all of our living being brothers and sisters around us. So what are some distractions from peace? Let's see. We have getting roped into our story, getting roped into the stories and the triggers of the past. And hear me when I talk about your story, a story from the past, that doesn't mean it's a story. It's a falsity. It's an untruth. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we have our life lessons that show up as very dramatic stories sometimes. And if we're not careful, we can really get pulled into the story and stay there instead of moving deeper to the healing that wants to take place. So ways that we distract ourselves from peace, from being peace, from cultivating a connection with the infinite is getting roped into our own stories, the way that we believe about somebody, a way that we believe about a certain group or about ourselves, right? Triggers from the past. And beautiful reading by Kathleen today, we lose our peace when we have places of unforgiveness, especially places where we're not forgiving ourselves, where we are being so critical and judgmental of ourselves. And, I think of Edwene Gaines, who is one of my mentors, and she always has said that any debt that you have, any financial debt that you have in your life is a place of unforgiveness. So if you have that, keep that in mind. If you have any debt, think about the fact that maybe there's somebody you haven't forgiven, and it could be yourself. So distractions from our peace would be getting roped into the stories, getting triggered, and staying there. We all get triggered. I like that. Still like that word because it's accurate, to be triggered. But you don't have to stay there. You can be triggered and recognize it. Okay, I'm feeling like this beautiful woman in a workshop one time said to me, I'm good. I don't need to do this work. I don't get triggered. I don't have any stories. I'm 72 years old. I'm perfectly happy. I've lived through this. I've lived through that. Everything's good in my life. Oh, but there was this one time. It was last week. This woman pulled up in front of me at the bank and just cut me off. And then she starts, all of a sudden, this sweet little lady starts cussing and telling me about this story with great, great passion. And she's like, and she just did that like I didn't even matter. And all of a sudden, I saw it. There it is. There's the trigger. I don't matter. So she had a belief that she didn't matter. We explored that in the workshop, and she got to that conclusion that she had a belief that she didn't matter. And when that person did that, it was proving her belief. And so that's what I mean by triggers. It's okay to be triggered. Just follow it. Follow it down to the seed underneath that has been planted that you want to pluck out so that you can flourish. Okay, so distractions from peace. Roped into stories, triggered by events and staying there, right? And then being in that place of unforgiveness and being so worried about the how of something instead of being willing. That's a distraction to your peace. And so when you're triggered by something, ask yourself this. And what I mean by that is someone pushes your buttons, you're triggered, you don't like the way someone did something, you're really, really angry about this, that, or the other thing. Ask yourself this: what does it mean to me or about me that this is happening? And if you really stay with that and follow it down the personal rabbit hole of your heart and of your mind, you can uncover some really great things. And it doesn't have to be one-on-one relationships. It could be politics or global affairs. It could, when you ask the question, what does it mean to me or about me? When you see something on the news, maybe it's that you don't feel safe or you don't feel like you have a voice, right? Until we unearth that, we can't turn it around and stand for what it is that we really want to stand for instead of that weaker point. Another thing that distracts us from our peace is complaining, finding all the ways that life is wrong and life is happening to you instead of through you and for you. When we stop complaining, we free up so much energy that flows directly into creative outlets. We are holding our own creativity back, and I don't just mean the artists and the musicians out there, but that too. But we're all creative because we're all co-creating our experience. So when you're complaining, you're holding back from co-creating a life that works for you, for all of us. So complaining, it's got to go. Might be time for us to start the complaint-free challenge again. I always want to do that the first of the year. It seems like a good reminder. We might look into that. But complaining's got to go. And to be able to not be distracted from your peace, your goal of peace. And then I already mentioned, but I'll reiterate, self-judgment and self-criticism. That's got to go. Use it as an opportunity when you find yourself really looking around and finding someone critical, finding someone judgmental of you. Use it as an opportunity for self-love, because there's probably a place within you. There is a place within you that's feeling critical toward yourself, judgmental toward yourself, and that's why it's showing up in front of you. So allow yourself to continually cleanse from that. Finding it in front of you means an opportunity to release it from within. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, a distraction from living from Christ consciousness, living in your divine dominion, a distraction from that. One thing that comes up a lot for people is a belief that the law works, the law that I referenced earlier, the law of mind action. The law works, but only for that person over there, only for the person that meditates more than me, or only for the person that has better luck than me. We don't believe in luck, we believe in the law. So having that idea that it works, but not for you. The law works for all alike, but it works based on our thoughts, our feelings, our words, and our actions. And not just for this person or that person, but for you, for all of us. So it is our time. It is our time to shine. It is our time to claim peace, our time to live from divine dominion, our time here in the middle of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Is our time to shine our light, the season of light, and to be that middle candle, that shamash, the one that lights the other candles. We all have that ability to make a difference, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of other people. You mean more than you realize to me and to others. You mean more than you realize, and you make a difference in people's lives by showing up as love, by showing up undefended and open and ready to wrap your love around the world. You make a difference. There's so many people who are very intent on pushing a very conservative view of life onto other people. And I was talking to a minister friend about that recently, saying, what can we do to help people shine their light when they feel like that there are certain people that are trying to squash them, right? Put their light out, take their voice away, change laws that limit people's freedoms. And my minister friend said, well, a lot of people take that passage from the Bible very literally, that you'll be judged not only personally, but your nation. And so there's people out there thinking, if I don't support and make sure that the right laws are in place and the right people don't have rights and these rights are taken away and if I don't control all this, then we're going to be judged and our whole nation is going to hell, right? Side note, we believe that heaven and hell are states of consciousness. So if you want to know more about that, I'll be happy to tell you. But the point I'm trying to make right now is this. If we're going to be judged, if someone wants to believe that we're being judged, my suggestion to them is that we hold to the measuring stick of John 13:35, where Jesus said, "By this all will know that you're my disciples, if you have love for one another." Let us hold that as what we measure by, that we have love for one another. They'll know that you're my disciples, that you follow this teaching that I'm giving you of inclusion, of compassion and kindness and love and possibility and sonship with the divine. Follow that and let people know that you're my disciples, that you're following that because you love one another. Let us be judged by that. Let us have love for one another. So today I'm asking you to consider claiming for yourself in a deeper way your dominion, your Christ consciousness. And you can do this, like I said, through prayer and meditation, through constant gratitude. Forget the complaining. It's stopping your creative flow. And through willingness. And I'll leave you with this thought, and that is, last week when I was at Unity of Savannah, I spoke about faith and hope and how, today the word hope is kind of washed aside because it means a questioning, a fingers crossed. If I hold my fingers crossed and I tilt this way and I look just right and I do it under full moon, then maybe hopefully, you know what I'm saying. Hope is not a very strong word. But in biblical times, it meant to live a joyful anticipation, to live in a joyful anticipation of good that is guaranteed. Hear that. To live in joyful anticipation of good that is guaranteed. That's what the word hope used to mean in biblical times. So be hope. Be hope for yourselves. Live in joyful anticipation of good that's guaranteed for yourself, for other people. And again, our affirmation from the 40-day Mind Fast Soul Feast. I turn with authority to my own mind and declare that all of God is with me and all of God is for me. All of God is with me and all of God is for me. Thank you, God. And so I say peace, be peace. Peace be unto you this holiday season and always. So I have a new song that I'd like to share with you all about the power that we have to help turn lives around when we share our love. Jimmy was in prison when he turned 18. His heart was pure, but his hands weren't clean. He was out of his head the night the shots rang out. Now he'll be 33 before he's free to get out. They'll be waiting for him there when he steps up. It's the power of a hug, it's the touch of a smile, the willingness to go the extra mile. It's one small act from an open heart. Yeah, the bravest love is the hardest part. And it turns a life around. Can turn a life around. He fought in the war, then he fought his way back. He healed from the outer and the inner attacks. She healed his heart and she helped to heal his mind. Her love brought him back time after time. It's the power of a hug, it's the touch of a smile, it's the willingness to go the extra mile. One small act from an open heart. Yeah, the bravest love is the hardest part. But it turns a life around. Can turn a life around. His smile tells the world that he's alright. No one ever sees the hidden fight, working to change and a struggle to remain. Just a breath away from feeling whole again. Your love can make someone feel whole again. It's the power of a hug, it's the touch of a smile, it's the willingness to go the extra mile. It's one small act from an open heart. Yeah, the bravest love is the hardest part, but oh, 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 it can turn a life around. It can turn a life around. Turn around. Kids, we see you, we hear you, we appreciate you, and we love you just the way that you are. Divine love, moving through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. So breathing into the energy of gratitude together, let's chant this beautiful chant of Thanksgiving. I am thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here. I am thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here, right now. I am thankful. What are you thankful for this morning? So grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here, right now. Let's move into our heart space and just cultivate and amplify these feelings of gratitude by allowing yourself to literally give thanks. Thank you, God, for my life, for my relationships, for my family, my friends, my beloved community, for the freedom to move freely in this material world. I'm so grateful. For a loving, beautiful, fantastic wife, I'm so grateful. For music, I'm grateful. For the children, and for the opportunity to remind them every single day that they are perfect, whole and complete. I'm grateful. And for each and every person volunteering, every board member serving, every practitioner intern, and every prayer chaplain, I'm so grateful for you. For every person that has taken ownership of this beloved community and decided to make that commitment and support this work with your financial resources and your time and your love. I'm so grateful. And I speak a word of blessing for each of those people, knowing that as we give, we receive, and that we can never outgive God. So knowing that each person giving today is absolutely blessed, and that it returns to you pressed down to overflowing, I say thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I am thankful, so grateful right here, right now. So please join us if you're able to and you're so led. We would love to see you this Saturday night at Lisa Lee Morgan's, one of our board members, opening her home. It's called the Fifth House. So join us at the Fifth House in Denver on Lake Norman for our holiday party at 5 p.m. this Saturday. And then on the following Sunday, the 19th, we will be at Eastside Local for a holiday marketplace. There's still some openings if you have some things you'd like to sell. And then join us in person on the 19th at the Charlotte Art League for another in-person service. Thank you for being here today. And join me in our closing song, if you would. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Tag someone and tell them you love them this morning. We let the joy wash over us. Joyful anticipation. We let it be. We let the love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. And if you're going through anything challenging right now, just know you don't have to go through it alone. So we call on grace and we remind you that we're here with you. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love. One more time. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We love you, we bless you, and we thank you. Have a fantastic week.